This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, Eric, who do you want to kick this off?
You, sir.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't catch that name, but never mind. That's all right.
You know,
All
my
right.
voice is so deep, I have to kind of slow
There
down
you go.
some. So there you go.
We'll call this meeting to order, and the roll call. I think we have most of our members here. Who's missing?
Like Julie,
Julie and Robin.
Robin, and
Caller 01 is who?
Rusty
Yeah.
Murphy.
And Russ is.
Russ. Okay. All right. Well, we've still got enough of us to carry on, and that's the main thing. According to the agenda, the first item here is the citizens' comments. So I see we have a couple of folks who are either unidentified or who I don't know from their faces. If they actually have comments at this point, it would be helpful if they would signify. Otherwise, I'm going to move right on to minutes of the previous meeting. You should have all got a copy from Eric a couple of days ago. I've read through them. I see absolutely nothing wrong with them. Actually, some elements of it are really encouraging. Did anybody have any significant changes or additions?
I move that they be approved as written.
Thank you, Don. Do we have a second? Thank you, Elaine. All those in favor, please signify. Aye, very good. Right. Don't know that we actually needed a formal motion, but it worked. And now, Mr. Power. Sorry?
They keep telling me I need one when I'm having a board of directors meeting, so I forced it on you.
I think, okay, I think it depends on the significance of the committee or something or other. I don't know. I'm going to pass this back to Eric now to introduce our speaker for today.
thank you, Clive. So our speakers today are Mr. Jeff Sire, who's the financial associate, and Miko Tisdale, who's the engagement leader, Texas region for Thrivent. I got to know Jeff Jeff actually put on the drive-in movie at the PAC, the Lago Vista PAC, a couple of weeks ago. A couple of the citizens called me thinking the city was going to put it on, and I let them know that it was not the city at that point in time. And I reached out to Jeff, and we had a great conversation. And Jeff, Lago Vista resident, wants to get involved and thought that this would be a great opportunity for him and Miko to kind of present themselves and kind of see how we can get involved with a partnership or something that they can help with the city. So with that, I would turn it over to Mr. Jeff and Miko.
Thank you very much, Eric. I appreciate it. Is there a way that I can share my screen? You do have a couple slides to go over.
Yes, let me see here.
I hope you can back that yes up because I've got no idea.
You're the presenter now, Jeff.
Oh, it says I'm at the restart GoToMeeting to apply this.
Let's see. Should be at the bottom of your screen. Can you share at the bottom of your screen? You see a share?
You have to just as administrator. Is Dave
At
Street on?
the bottom, there's a screen. Well, I guess that just turns off the screen.
Yeah, it won't let me. I get administrator privileges, I guess, but
I think Dave just made you presenter. So Dave, is he the presenter now?
Yes, he is, Eric.
Yes, so you're the presenter, Jeff. So how does
All he needs to do is click on the screen option.
click on the screen option, Jeff?
yeah, it won't let me. It says I don't have the permissions. My screen part is blocked out gray. Let me see here.
I'm definitely far from an expert from that. Dave, so where would that be on his screen? Can you just click on it? Is it a listed, Dave?
It must be a corporate machine and he doesn't have the local administrator rights.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna try to restart this real quick and then.
I think while you're working on that, Jeff, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. Hi, everyone, and thank you for allowing us to join you today. My name is Miko Thomas Tisdale. I'm the engagement leader for Thrivent. My primary role really is connecting our members, because we're a member-owned organization, to things of the community. So it really is collaborating with professionals like Jeff, who is a financial professional, and
Miko,
just
If they can mute their if you're not speaking, please mute yourself. We get some background noise. Thank you.
okay. Cool. Okay. Yes. Again, my name is Miko Thomas Tisdale, and so primarily my job as my role as an engagement leader is really helping our members, and because we're a member-owned organization, helping our members engage in the things that they're passionate about or things within their community. And so it really is finding areas where our members can support utilizing our generosity program. And Jeff will talk a little bit about that during his presentation. It's collaborating with a lot of our financial advisors and just helping them determine where they want to show up. So as it relates to your community, you think about a lot of the community initiatives and outreach that happens in Lago Vista. And that's where our members show up, is finding those things that are important to you to help you grow and thrive, and where our members can support that. You ready, Jeff? You're on mute, I believe.
Yeah, I can't share my screen, so what I'm gonna try to do, we're gonna call an audible here. And there we go. Now I can share it.
Looks like you're ready to go. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself.
Awesome. Well, hey, we scrambled pretty good there on the fly. So I was just about to try to email you. And we are Zoom users, so I'm not as proficient with GoToMeeting. Can y'all see that okay? Yep, everyone can see it. Okay, great, great. So, well, we went, and so Miko had a chance to introduce herself, and she is the community engagement leader. It works with cities and charities and state and local government everywhere throughout Texas. I'm here in Point Venture. I hope that doesn't get me disconnected from the meeting. I still consider myself a Lago Vista resident. I know we have this little island down here, but I love it here. And I was telling Meredith and Eric on our last meeting, I think y'all are doing a phenomenal job. 48 years old, it's the best city I've ever lived in. So for whatever that counts, please take that as my compliments to y'all. So who are we and why are we here, right? So let's talk a little bit about Thrivent, and then we're going to talk about how that might correlate and help the city of Lago Vista when it comes to economic development. So Thrivent is a fraternal membership-owned organization, and we've been around in existence for almost 120 years. Okay, so we are actually a financial professional services and products firm. Okay, and we have about 2 million clients. But we approach customers a little bit different, or clients a little bit different than probably what a lot of people do out there. Really, the best way to think of this is we have really 3 main missions or goals, right? The first one is to talk to people about money being a tool, not a goal. Okay, and the second one is to help people achieve financial clarity. And the third one is really generosity is a key component of that. And the reason generosity is a key component of that, and again, that can be time, talent, or treasures, is because it's really a leading indicator, if you will, of peace, right? It's a leading indicator of that you have some things squared away and that you are able to give to others, which ultimately is what we want to all be able to do. And that's what makes communities, as we all know, thrive and push. And when it comes to economic development, right, it's going to take a village, if you will, and what we're going to do in order to make sure that we're continuing to prosper and continue to grow and continue to advance Lago Vista here on the North Shore of Lake Travis. So with that being in mind, let's go to the third part, the generosity, right? Amplifying the good. So in addition to looking at advice and investments and, helping people with their budgets or whatever it might be, what else can we do to help clients strengthen their community? And that's where Thrivent really becomes different, right? That's why we have people like Miko in our leadership team that are 100% consumed with community engagement, right? You don't see that at a lot of different places that are just, primarily financial firms. So we're going to hopefully equip people to give them resources, make a bigger impact, right? We're going to strengthen, when we talk about institutions, whether it's educational institutions, government institutions, or even small and local business, those institutions, to help them support their missions and grow together at the best way we can so that we can make an impact, right? And we're going to get the tools and resources that Thrivent offers in order to do that. So I'm going to concentrate on a couple different issues here, and at the end we'll take some questions and make sure that we kind of hopefully orchestrate our point and lead the next steps here. But I'm going to go around these areas here, which is volunteer and give, support and assist, equip and inspire, and then the resources. So when we talk about volunteer and giving, that's where Eric had talked about the drive-in, right? And that's what we call an action team. So our members, again, we're a membership-owned fraternal organization, and our members, they're encouraged to go out and do what we call action teams. And so what we did at the Lago Vista High School was an action team of a drive-in, right? And there's a lot of different things that can come of that, right? These can be educational awareness. These can be service projects. We could be given to people that, are less fortunate. We could be, putting sheetrock up at a place, right? Or there's a lot of different things that we can do. The action team in this case, right? And on the left-hand side, there's a place on the web you can go. It's Thrivent Action Teams. And those are action teams that are happening everywhere and people posting their stories. It's like an Instagram of generosity, if you will. But the pictures to the right are local Lago Vista, in this case, high school students. They were the ones that completely facilitated this with under my tutelage and management style, if you will, of getting this drive-in together. And we had 30-something cars, and we raised over $2,000 for the local school district. And that money is going to be used to send the teachers to trainings called Capturing Kids' Hearts. It was a great event, awesome, allowed the community to come together. And in this case, again, it's for an educational offering. I'm going to do another one of my action teams this weekend on the 12th, and that's going to actually be at North Lake Church. We're going to do something called the Christmas Store. And the Christmas Store is where families that have had a hard time in 2020 can come in and purchase items, right? So it's a little dignity to go ahead and shop for your children, but instead of buying that toy for $20, you're going to be able to buy it for $1. You're still spending your money, but we're giving it at pennies on the dollar. And so that's another action team. So again, these can take all kinds of different approaches, right, in and around the community. This is something that our membership is pretty passionate about nationwide. So when you look at Habitat for Humanity, which most of us have probably heard of, nationwide global organization, Thrivent and Habitat for Humanity have a very tight integration and partnership. Our members have given upwards of $226 million to Habitat for Humanity, and 5.2 million volunteer hours have been invested here. So, whether it's a big grand scale like that or just a little, tiny contribution at the North Shore for a Christmas store, it can take all kinds of different flavors. But that's kind of the volunteering part of what our members do. And again, where this is going to come in for some of the economic development is as we're getting initiatives and we want to get our community more involved, this is something that we can leverage. Going forward, the next part of that is Thrivent Choice. And Thrivent Choice is where we can actually have a direct access to different organizations, charitable organizations and causes through our website. So for instance, if someone wants to do a direct donation, or they would like a dividend payment from one of their investments to go here, or they would like to leave a legacy somewhere, we can do that through organizations. There's actually, in the Thrivent Choice catalog right now, there's actually nonprofits that exist in Lago Vista today. And that allows them, again, to expand the network and make it easier for people to donate to them, and for them to make a little money for fundraising, etc. Okay. So those are just kind of some highlights when it comes to the volunteering and giving. We talk about supporting and assisting. Again, this is where it's kind of encapsulated all the little areas. So whether it's personal donations or Thrivent matching funds. So if Thrivent members give to an organization, Thrivent will then match it. Okay. There's, again, the Thrivent Choice dollars. And then the last part of that is the Thrivent action teams. That's what we did at the drive-in and the Christmas store. We also do various things within a partner called In Faith Community Foundation. And this is a creation of charitable funds. So you might want to have a charitable fund created for something that's altruistic, something that's going on. This isn't quite like a bond fund or anything like that from a general, as we think in the city world, but maybe something that's, again, a benevolent fund or something that's going on. We could do that through our partnership within Faith. This is just an example of some of the other things that we do for our members and the other people that are involved with our organization. And this one is for the infant loss grant. Obviously, it's something that none of us want to have to deal with as parents, but you know, that obviously happens with new families. And so we have some different, I guess I don't want to say packages. That sounds a little sterile, but we have some different things that we can help out new families that go through some struggles in one of these. Just, you know, this would be an awful time. So hopefully we can lighten some of that burden to them. Equipping and Inspire, and this is really where I think the synergies between the Economic Development Council and board and Thrivent within the North Shore can really come together. And that comes down to like workshops. So one of the things we talked about with Eric and Meredith was, you know, as we start looking at making sure that we're continuing to grow here in Lago Vista, that's contingent on bringing in small businesses. That's contingent on making sure that this is not only a great place to live, but it's a great place to build a business. And so part of that is we're very unique, right? This isn't Austin, it's not Cedar Park, right? It's closer to those areas in Marble Falls. So we have a really unique atmosphere here. And, you know, one of the things where we have seen a lot of success is in these kinds of workshops that we can do, right? So whether that's, you know, partnering with a you know, local business would be the ideal here. Thing, or even partnering with the city or partnering with the school district. So imagine, you know, you see, these are just some examples of some of the workshops we do, and we create all the content for these. But if you look at the part where, you know, student loan repayment, you imagine the bank here, SST, right? Partner with SST to bring people in the community and talk about student loans. Or maybe we're with LVISD and we're talking about college planning or money matters and budgeting with kids. Maybe it's local attorneys. We're talking about aging, heart to heart, you know, preparing for aging adults in our family, or trust building, or any of those things as well. So, you know, there's just a lot of different things that we can do to help our community, and also bring awareness to some of the local businesses that are in the area. And again, like I said, we can even partner with the city in these, if these will be things that are educational in nature and would be a benefit for the community members. Miko, did I miss anything on that?
Looks like you covered it well. Yes. I mean, I would say that while we are a financial organization, our why is really the community part of that, and partnering with entities to help communities thrive and grow. So that really is our, what I would call our secret sauce. That definitely is why we exist.
Absolutely. And so, you know, when you think about either the action teams, you think about, you know, some of the benevolence, and then you think about the workshops and educational events. I think there's a lot of synergies in there that could be helpful, not only from a when we think about a nonprofit world, but when we think about actually driving, you know, some economic growth in the area. This is another example of some of the things, you know, we partner with Silver Brick Road and some other organizations if we're talking about independent living. And as you know, here on the North Shore, we do have a population of a lot of retirees, and we have some workers that do different in-home health needs and things like that. Understanding where those businesses are, helping connect people, helping, you know, them know, you know, where's there an Alzheimer's support group? Where is there, you know, a resource library, or, you know, an expert help directory of people like skilled nursing or what have you? So, you know, just again, helping bring awareness to that and driving value for some of the older population, as well as for the community. So make sure that people feel safe here, if mom and dad are here and you know, they live miles away, etc. So again, we're just kind of scratching the surface here, but there's a lot of different things that we do that are above and beyond. Like Mika said, financial services is just really the kind of the tip of the iceberg. So the kind of the resources that we have, right? We talked about Thrivent Choice. You know, we do have, you know, we sell insurance, we do, you know, investments, mutual funds, annuities, all the stuff like that. But you know, the main thing that we want to talk about here is how we can align and kind of take some of the burden off the city, if you will. You know, burden off the taxpayer, and how can we help as a community and as membership groups come together and help drive initiatives for the city and partnering with the city so that we can really make a difference, right? And that's where, again, we're pretty different than everyone else, is we're invested in the community so that we can, at the end of the day, make a difference for us. Any questions? I know kind of sped through that, but y'all's time is valuable, so we just wanted to kind of hit the highlights and then see where we can go from there as far as next step.
I can just find the right computer here and turn on my microphone. Sorry about that, Jeff. Okay, so I see the broad brush approach here, and my knee-jerk reaction is, as you know, since you live here on the North Shore, we have a vast number and variety of civic organizations who all do sterling work in a variety of different areas, including educational support for older people. That, you know, we even have I'm sorry, Don, are you president or chairman of the Lions Club? I do beg your pardon. Here on our board.
President.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. I'm not quite sure that I yet understand how your organization's activities would fit in with a community-wide organization such as ours, which is not a non-profit. I mean, our be-all and end-all is to generate funds and taxes to grow our city.
Yeah, and so that's kind of where I wanted to, you know, if I could kind of go back here on this a little bit. This is where I think that the starting place is, right? Above and beyond, you know, I belong to the Lions Club down here in Point Venture, great organization. Above and beyond some of the different organizations out there that, you know, are going to raise money, you know, bring those together, do different things, right? What we would like to do too is bring some of that financial expertise in addition to anything that, seems from a, like I said, a nonprofit perspective or more of a volunteer hours perspective. But above and beyond that, this is where I really think the starting point, the kickoff point for us is, how good would it be to add things for our community to know of the businesses that exist, or for these businesses to have this avenue for them to be able to jump out there with the community. Now, granted, with COVID being there and some of the other restrictions that we're facing right now, I don't know what that looks like, and I don't know that any of us do. But this is just kind of where we were thinking to start off with, where maybe we could do, because we do have so much content on these different areas that of valuable workshops and good information that we've utilized nationwide. I don't know why we don't use that to leverage some of the businesses and some of the things that we're doing here in Lago Vista.
A fair point. Don, I'm going to pass this to you. Do you see a link between the Lions Club, for example, as an example of a civic organization, and a Thrivent in this?
Well, we are anxiously looking everywhere during the COVID for funds. I might mention there are 6 local Lions sitting here in this meeting today, just so you have an idea. And we're happy to be here. But we're, as you know, since you're a Lion, we're consistently trying to do things that benefit the community, our local community. How do you interface the Thrivent and the Lions Club in Point Venture, if you do? I mean, what sort of relationship is there?
Sure. So right now, the relationship from for me and the Lions is more just personally. They've put me at a task to make a bunch of cold calls to local businesses to fundraise for their golf tournament. That has nothing to do with Thrivent. They just know that I guess I was willing to do. I don't even know. The mayor, Eric Love, got me involved in it, so that's his fault. But as far as the relationship with Thrivent and the Lions Club, that hasn't really materialized down here yet. We've talked about it. We did. I asked if they wanted to volunteer and help out with part of what we were doing at the drive-in, and they had a conflict that day because there was a golf tournament that they were already previously committed to. That was on November 7th. But how will that look going forward? Well, that will be in our members' action teams, right? So everyone that is a Thrivent member has action teams that are available, where they get seed money from Thrivent, and they get some resources in order to conduct something, whether that's a service offering, whether that's some of the trash pickup or some of the other things that we do, or an educational initiative like scholarships that the Lions Club does. So those things are still working through it. I've only been with Thrivent since July, so I was formerly with Lago Vista School District as a coach and teacher over there. So
very good. It so happens that our second vice president, Gage Hunt, is with us here, and because of his office, Gage has fallen into being in charge of all sorts of charitable affairs to raise money. So perhaps he can kick it around in his head. We have a meeting, I think, of your committee tomorrow, right, Gage? Maybe we can discuss a little bit of this.
I also wanted to add, as Jeff talked about the power of our members, or the power of membership to engage, is yes, they absolutely can participate in the fundraising aspects of the community activities that you do. But when we talk about the Thriving Choice dollars and we talk about the Thrivent Action Team, this is money that our membership has access to. So if they're wanting to support some of the community initiatives or events that you're hosting or you're doing, we absolutely can engage our members to be a part of that. As an engagement leader, engagement is key. Is when we have more people involved, you've got an increase in volunteer hours, not just an increase in funding, but you've got an increase in volunteer hours and you have an increase to loyalty, right? So when members find something there they really love, but they don't know how to connect, when you're having those community events or activities or initiatives, this is what Jeff can bring to those members. Say, hey, this is what's going on in this community. Here's where you can utilize those generosity programs that Thrivent extends to you. This is nothing out of that member's pocket. This is because we do not pay corporate taxes. And so we're choosing to roll those funds back out into the communities that our members care about. And we encourage that because that's what we're here to do, is to take care of our community. So there's power in that engagement. In a partnership with the Lions Club, it absolutely would be our members supporting some of the things that builds the Lago Vista community. You know, just based on what membership concentration you have there or surrounding, this is things that people can come into your community and support or be a part of, right? That's an increase in number, that's an increase in growth. So just kind of give you an idea of what that impact is. And again, Thrivent encourages our members to be a part of something much bigger than themselves.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Are you on mute?
That will be.
More questions?
Can you all give us an example of, let's just come up with a fake event here, and let's say it's with the Lions Club. Can you kind of walk us through that? Like, how would that get started? Who does what? All those kind of little bits and pieces to help us kind of understand.
Do you want to try that, Jeff?
I was going to ask you, you want to do it or you want me to do it?
Okay, just from experience. Okay, so you have Jeff who's involved in the things of Lago Vista. And so as a financial professional, Jeff has a way that he wants his practice to look. So if he's partnering with the Lions Club and whatever task they've assigned him, I would say part of his commitment is reaching out to our Thrivent members and letting them know what exactly this event is about. What is it, you know, what's happening? What is the benefit? How can they get involved? And use that as an opportunity for them to utilize their Thrivent Action Team or Thrivent Choice. Now, for Thrivent Choice, it has to be an eligible nonprofit organization, and that's a conversation that Jeff can have with the Lions Club. These are dollars that the member directly or direct to the organization. Once you receive those dollars, you absolutely can use it in the right way, not any way, but in the right way to support those things that you're doing in the community. For the action teams to access that, the member is just going into their profile and they're applying for those funds. What I suggest to my advisors as well as to my members when you're working with an organization that may be putting on a large event is if there is a place where the Lions Club can list the different things that are happening in that event and how can the member support. That way, when the member goes and applies for those funds, they can, an example would be maybe it's catering. I'm just thinking of something. Maybe it's catering and they see that on the list. So the member can apply for their action team to support or fund the catering project committee or the catering for the event. The only way that can really happen is Jeff is kind of that point person between the member, Thrivent, and Lions Club. So he's going to have access to who those members are that have those benefits, and he's going to be able to contact those members and share whatever it is that event is about and ask them to support them with their generosity programs. Does that answer your question? Okay.
Yeah, so they would have access to, you know, different funds. For instance, I've mentioned the golf tournament here. There was a Lion that suffered some injuries, and they raised some money for him here and did some things. So in that case, we had, like I said, a conflicting event that day, but that would be one thing where they could reach out to me, Meredith, and say, hey, you know, this is what we have planned, here's what we're looking at, then I can then go find members too that have access to these action teams, so that we can apply those things to them and jump in and help as a community.
And so the action teams are boots on the ground?
Yeah,
Or-
just members, just people that are members of Thrivent, right? So if you think of a USAA, where the common thread is military, right? You know, that's kind of, you know, if you were a USAA member, you might be more familiar with that. But Thrivent would be the same way. If you're a Thrivent member, then, you know, we're going to be able to, you know, see if we can leverage some of those. And everyone has 2 action teams a year that they can use.
And to that point, I think, Jeff, even with your drive-in that you had at the school, your Thrivent members, some of the people, the local, I would say kids, was actually able to work it and the concessions and things of that nature. So you actually got the local community involved with the children in that, and that was great for the community. So that's stuff like that get involved with, you know, the children was able to work that event and, you know, show the community and give back in every way.
Yes, absolutely, Eric. I appreciate that 100%.
What type of materials is available to make, for us to be able to make different groups in the community be aware that there's resources like you out there? I mean, let's take another example. We have Keep Lago Vista Beautiful, and we clean Lago Vista, Loman Ford once a month. And if we wanted to expand it, that it's a broader base of Lago, and it went down Boggy, and it went down several different streets, but we need the people to make that happen. How would we go about working that with you? How would we know if there's members that would be interested in being a part of that?
Sure, and that's to Miko's point. That's why it'd be a good resource, right? You come and approach and say, hey, we're expanding, Keep Lago Beautiful, and we're looking. You know, we probably need 20 more people, or we need, you know, more sticks, you know, and bags, or whatever we might need, right? Whatever the resources are. And then, you know, I would then at that point see if I could find members that could apply action teams to that. Does that make sense?
Another way that you could do this in the partnership with Jeff, I strongly encourage organizations to, if it's a list on their website or, you know, in that partnership is about visibility, right? Whether you're placing on the website that if you're a Thrivent member, here are some opportunities how you can use your generosity program. You know, whatever that agreement is between you and Jeff, you can absolutely do that. So I don't want to take away from Jeff's expertise. When we find that when communities are, when they're in a better position financially, right, they're going to make wiser decisions. And one of those things, because we go through that 5S journey, one of those things is we meet people where they are so that they can live a life of surplus, right? And so the surplus is the generosity programs that we're talking about, because our members are at some point, we teach them how, or we teach and we coach them and help them to get to the point of giving. That's who we are as an organization. That's what we promote to our members, and that's what we promote to individuals that we do business with. So you can actually list, like on a website or Facebook or what have you, that, hey, if you're a Thrivent member, here are the programs. But also in hopes that it gives Jeff some visibility, right? That he can share this Thrivent story with others who are not members of Thrivent. Because as they become members of Thrivent, they have access to these Thrivent action teams and Thrivent choice dollars. Any other questions?
No, I think Miko and Jeff, you've raised a lot of good points here. In my own mind, I'm still struggling with the idea of you know, benefits going to a community which is a church or a school district, or rather than the greater Lago Vista area, if you will. And I think it's Jeff, you've got your work cut out. You're going to have to spend an awful lot of time communing with Don and the Lions Club, and probably the President's Council and all these other organizations to actually reach out to them and try and see whether there's a nucleus where there's a mutual benefit. But anyway, I thank you very much for your presentation today. It's fascinating stuff.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll just come over. I'll be at your house in like in 20 minutes, Clive, and I'll just stay there all day. Just kidding.
I will say, if you haven't been to Thrivent's website, that might be a good place to start searching around, and it kind of outlines their mission and examples. That helped me kind of get a better understanding.
Sure. Absolutely.
I'll send a follow-up email. I'll send it to you, Meredith and Eric, and then y'all can disseminate amongst the rest of the members here, and I'll get some kind of summary points in there. So appreciate y'all's time very much. So
Appreciate you too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nico.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Hey, Mr. Eric, you're up.
All right. Quick few updates that we have here. We're still working with 3 hotel developers. Actually, I just got prior to this meeting, a hotel development budget from one of the developers that I'm working with. I'm constructing construction for a hotel here in Lago Vista. Clive, who's a real estate agent for the city, actually has been in contact and talking with one as well. And we also are working with another one. So those conversations are still being had, and there's kind of movement on those, and we appreciate everything Clive's doing on that on his end. So we're just trying to work those, but we are still talking to 3 developers that are looking at a possible hotel here in Lago Vista. I don't know if Clive, you want to touch on that any or not, but I would.
No, you're right. For me, it's deja vu, because a lot of this is regurgitated from 8 years ago, but I won't talk about that. That's okay. We're still looking for the hotel we were looking for 10 years ago. We will get it. In the meantime, though, Eric, I noticed in our minutes, there was a comment from Josh at the last meeting about the feasibility study. Do you happen to know, has it been updated?
The feasibility study has been updated, and it has been, I don't know if it's sent to who you were speaking with yet, but it has been sent to the 2 guys, but we do have it. I will get that to you. But it has been updated. I just received it, must have been Friday, but it has been updated. We have it updated now, sure do. And I was encouraged that the guy that Clive is talking to, he knew Clive. Didn't he know you from what, 10 or 12 years ago? Didn't he? You remember the guy that you were speaking with from a while back, didn't he?
Same guy.
So yes, but I get that to you, and I definitely, actually, the feasibility study, I can get that out to the committee itself. So I'll send the feasibility study out.
Okay.
All right, next on my list. What did I do with my list here? I just turned it over. There we go. So that was on that component of it. Also, we have the there's some other one. I want to get Meredith involved now. So Meredith, I know you had some couple of things going on. I know we had some updates with Cap Metro. We sent out some new numbers. Of course, you did the Christmas on yesterday. Any updates you want to speak about?
Yeah. Excuse me, I'm all choked up. I'm so excited. Yeah. So yeah, we had the Christmas thing last night, and it was cute. Good COVID, we had to keep, safe, so we didn't have our normal bunch of booths and all that sort of stuff out. But so we made like a little trail of lights between City Hall and the library, and it we were up to the last minute running around showroom floors and grabbing the models off the showroom floors to put little statues and decorations back in there. And KLVB installed Glee, the piece of art Glee by artist Cindy Diebold, and it's over there. And so that was kind of got its first run out in public because it's included there. And we have, you know, Santa's mailbox, and kids can bring all their letters to Santa throughout the month. So that's cute. Everyone had a good time. Even saw a bunch of adults out there trying to get group selfies, and that's kind of neat. So as you know, there's filming going on today, like we had talked about before the meeting started. It is Fear the Walking Dead. It's season 6, and they're just filming today. It is apparently the scene is some sort of dream sequence, and the set is up by the airport at basically the area end of the runway. And I was out with the location scout last week and this weekend. We were trying to find a place to put the big trailers, the big trucks. You know, they couldn't make it up Barquet, so I took her out to the new park, which turned out to be a phenomenal place to set up their base camp, their catering, all their trucks, load in, crew, everything. So that's great. I think that holds potential out there, not just for, you know, recreation, but also for things like this. On the Texas Film Commission website, it lists different films or TV shows or, you know, streaming series like Fear the Walking Dead, and it highlights each episode and what town it was in and what you should go see in that town, whatever was in the scene. So I noticed Lago Vista wasn't in there. So I was, you know, about to reach out to the Film Commission the very next day, next 2 days, 2 days, whatever. I get an email from this woman, a location scout, coming out for Fear the Walking Dead. So I thought, there's got to be some ESP going on. So I talked to her, and now I'm in touch with the main guy at Texas Film Commission to get us added on from the episodes from 2 years ago at the Overlook Apartments, and for this one also. So that's important. And the woman I worked with, Casey, she does location scouting for all different kinds of films. So I did invite her to please come back anytime and can show her places that she hasn't even seen before. But she really did love to have the access to that park. She said it made life so much easier. So that's it that I can think of right now. Eric, can you think of anything else?
No, I definitely appreciate that, Meredith. If you think
Sure.
anything, definitely chime back in. And I got my list back now, so I'm back in order here now. So we also was able to execute a new tenant in the Lago Vista Village. So the new tenant that executed their lease on last week, that's going to be a CBD, is Health Solutions, will be now has executed their lease in the Lago Vista Village. So we have a new tenant going into the village, which is great. Got another tenant going in there. So still some momentum going into that village right now. So that's always positive when we're seeing growth over in that area as well. We have, Councilman Williams is on the call with us. He's been appointed or elected, however it goes with council, to be a liaison again. He'll be the liaison for the EDC again. So we're glad to have Councilman Williams back. I don't know if you want to say anything. We don't want to hear him if he does, but we'll let him say it if he wants to.
No, thank you. Look forward to working with you all. Okay.
Also, Pro Tem Arch is on the call as well, but he kind of reached out, and we're working with Retail Strategies. In fact, Retail Strategies is working on urgent care and medical prospects for Lago Vista. Pro Tem kind of brought that to our attention, and I just received an updated list. They're expanding their prospects to 13 more on the list than what they already were speaking with at this point in time to get some type of healthcare medical facility here in Lago Vista. So that's, again, ongoing conversations. Me and Meredith will be attending TML ED conference on Thursday. This Thursday is a virtual conference. And so we will be attending the TML Economic Development Conference on this Thursday. Myself and Meredith are registered for that conference. Yes, Council.
I did see Kevin Sullivan's on this call also. So I didn't know if he had anything he wanted to add or anything like that.
Nope, just listen in. Thanks, Councilor Williams. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Well, that's definitely glad. We're glad to have the councilman on, and so we appreciate that. I don't know, Pro Tem, that you want to say anything as well? I don't know. Is he? I think I see it's muted. He's still muted.
Eric, can I just add a couple more things?
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to let you all know we've got that Cat Metro pickup service still. There is a video that was produced. It is on the city's Facebook page. It is on the city's website. It's great. Features Don and Anna Jandro at the shopping center. I want to thank Fran Lehman for helping us do it. But I've heard that, there are a lot of people out there who need to get some Christmas shopping done, go to local stores, but they don't have a ride. I also put some of the brochures out at Lowe's at the end of each register and out at Phoenix Auto, and that's helped. I know a couple people personally who've used the service. So, and just to remind everyone to be real careful about wearing the masks in the stores and everything. And, the kids had their football game on Friday, and I think some of them had to be tested afterwards. I don't want to talk out of turn, but just to remind everyone, shopping out and out with everybody. Keep our businesses and our customers safe. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Russ? We can't hear you. Do you have your microphone on? I think, Russ.
Russ, your microphone is on, but maybe it's not connecting with your computer. Maybe there's a software.
I think while Russ is getting called in, anybody else? While he's calling in, I think he's calling in. Sure, he should be.
All right, how's that?
That's it.
Much better.
I apologize. Not only am I late, but my IT man is also doubles as myself, so I apologize. So I did have a question, kind of circling back to this Thrivent presentation. So when I'm looking at those guys, I mean, they are just a financial planner, essentially, and it just seems like their model is, let me gain access to your audience, and yes, we're gonna pitch our products behind the mask of service hours. Is that kind of what I'm seeing? And so I guess when we're looking at something like that, I mean, has there been a decision made, or why would we promote any particular business, let alone, basically more or less an MLM type scenario? Because that's going to represent us at the end of the day.
So yeah, no decision has been made. They just did a presentation. Like they said, they did the drive through at the school. They had some areas that they thought they could to work with the city on the volunteer part of that. But yeah, we're not promoting any business. So no decision making that we need to do on that. So yeah.
Okay. And again, like I said, I apologize. I came in late. They're just, I was trying to figure out what the angle was of, why we're in the city meeting, with those guys. If ultimately, we weren't going to stand behind and push any particular business to the forefront, just support everything local, of course, but don't want something to come across as this is the city's retirement plan, or this is what the city endorses, or something like that.
No, we more talked about them on the community, even like Lago Fest, for instance, like like I stated, the youth that did the drive through, the local Lago Vista youth, they could probably help out some with the Lago Fest with the leg work and things need to be nature. So that was kind of what that, but no, we haven't talked to any financial actual. I haven't talked to any financial with them, but I don't. Sure.
Okay.
I think their idea was a kind of live here, give here. Did you say, Eric?
Yeah, it wasn't
That kind of concept. Yeah.
But any action, anything that we would go would have to go through city council anyways for any type of a sign up as a vendor or anything of that nature with any organization. But yeah, just appreciate
Hi,
Paul.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to kind of echo what some of Russ's observations there. The city has no business partnering with this company. They're a financial planning outfit. Google the company. They don't have good reviews on the internet. They sell life insurance. They're volunteering, and every business volunteers in the community. That type of philanthropy is good for promoting one's business. There's nothing wrong with that. But giving audience to them, okay, let them pitch themselves. But I certainly wouldn't want to see this committee make any recommendations to council for any type of engagement with them. That's just my 2 cents. Thank you.
Okay. I can't imagine that happening, Paul, but thank you. Eric.
Yes, sir. So with that, that's
One
all.
more on your list.
We have a meeting scheduled for tentative, which will be January. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone. It'll be tentative Tuesday, January the 12th. So I guess I won't see anybody. I hope to see some of you before that, but I might not see some of you to the New Year. So if not, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you.
Same to everybody.
Likewise.
Thank you.
All right. With that said, then I will consider this meeting, unless there's any more from any more. We are adjourned. Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Merry
Christmas, everyone.